So I just got in from the gym not too long ago, and I figure let me go ahead and complete the budget for week 1 of August. Leave some comments down in the comment section below and let me know if you already covered the rent for the first week of August. Also, leave some comments down in the comment section below and let me know if you haven't covered it yet. Have you implemented any additional measures to be able to cover the rent for the month of August? Because we want to come in with the precise level of focus needed to ensure that we meet all of our goals for the month of August. Because essentially, if you're using the right budget, the budget should tell a detailed story in regard to how you operate in real life. And what I noticed from my July overview is that I was literally going to work and paying bills. Nothing else listed throughout the calendar. And something said, I was like, if that's all I was doing for the month of July, and I know I needed to be more productive than just going to work and paying bills, I was like, is it a possibility that I'm not doing those additional tasks because it's not listed throughout the calendar? Have I trained my brain to believe that I should only be inserting tasks in regard to a business perspective rather than a personal, which is why I was able to then become so good with managing money because I like to stay focused on taking care of the business. But then when I looked at the schedule, my health and fitness is not prioritized throughout this overview. But yet I'm making an investment in a gym membership. Also, I was doing some extended research to possibly invest in a business venture. So we're going to up the ante on the business expense. And then I want to add some additional costs in regard to having sit down meetings with you guys on a weekly basis in regard to essentially holding ourselves accountable with then how we further navigate through the budget. So, with that being said, I created this updated overview in regard to what I want the month of August to look like. So, I incorporated going to the gym every other day. I upped the business investment. And then I incorporated 4 meetings this month to kind of check in with the budget. Gave myself a $25 budget in regards to that. So maybe if I feel like playing a little game with you guys and pulling an event out of a hat, probably not though. I'm probably just going to choose the first location for the meeting and then leave some comments down in the comment section below of a budget friendly location that in which you guys might want to see me in to further engage with you guys in regard to holding ourselves accountable this month. All right. So this tells a better story in regard to how I want to further navigate when in trying to clear any tasks or meet any goals that in which I feel like haven't been prioritized in previous months. So, with that being said, now what I'm going to do is take the information listed throughout the first week of August to give myself a better view of how to further navigate using that information as a guide when I'm then staying focused in regard to those priorities. All right. So now I am going to, according to the budget, insert $2,000 as a form of funding that we will start the week off with, i.e., our savings, which rolled over to the close so that we can cover any expenses occurring throughout the first week of August. So we started out with 2,000. Now, mind you, I am self-employed. I don't get no paycheck. I have to build my paycheck. So I'm real strategic with these numbers, which is why I have to have a precise view of what these numbers are supposed to look like to avoid a possible financial collapse from occurring throughout the month of August. So, again, we started off with 2,000 minus the rent of 1,500 via our basic need line of expense. So 1,500 for the rent. From there, a $75 business investment plus the meeting at $25. So an additional $100 listed throughout our luxury line of expense. All right. Now, from there, if I just were to take my calculator real quick and just do the quick little math, and I'm just doing it in regards to recording purposes because clearly it's going to be a remaining sum of $400. But nonetheless, for recording sake, we take the 2,000 minus the 1,500 minus the 100. That's going to leave us with the remaining sum of $400. Now, I would like to close the week with $1,000. So if I add that throughout the overview, that I want to close on the 9th with $1,000, then that means I am going to need to generate an additional $600 worth of funding over the duration of this week in order to meet the close. Leaving my weekly expense report at $1,600.00 and my weekly revenue report at $1,000.00, which again is what I want to close with on the 9th. So I need to make sure I paint that clear picture in order for me to use this information as a guide to further navigate me over the duration of the first week of August. Because as busy as I be, knowing I wasn't even going to the gym at that to prioritize my health, I don't know about you, but I for sure don't have time to be playing around with a budget all day trying to figure out how to configure information that I should already have a clear and precise understanding of whilst I'm then navigating throughout my financial journey. I don't have time for the extras. So right now I'm just cleaning up the budget for a more aesthetic view. So when I'm looking at it, or referring back to it throughout the week, there's no confusion. It's a clear, precise story of what I am to then do or order. Let's just say a clear, precise order in regard to where my money going, right? Because I'm the general. I'm the lieutenant. My money ain't never in his life gonna tell me what to do. I'm gonna tell it what to do. And this is exactly how I know that it's time for me to start making some investments to generate additional or new streams of revenue, because I'm ready to start building long lasting forms of wealth to see a possible early retirement. Because guess what? In life, we got to learn how to take some risks, whether they're low risk, calculated, or high risk metrics being applied throughout our journey. We got to start somewhere. We got to start somewhere if we want to see some sort of results throughout that journey. And sometimes we can't afford to invest in real estate. But what we can do is try and save up a minimum amount of funding to get started on investing in a small business or in the stock market. You want to start somewhere, especially if you feel like you don't want to work for the rest of your life. Man, that'd be crazy. But anywho, that's the story. We started off with 2,000. We deducted 1,500 for the rent. We had a business expense for $75, and we have a meeting for $25, right? And I haven't yet pulled the trigger on the business expense, neither the budget meeting that I then want to again try and use as a form of content to further check in with the budget. So we still have $100 pending for our expenses. But that's the picture. So what I would do from there, because this information then transfers to all of my other devices, if I ever needed to refer back to the budget, it's all here. All here. All I gotta do, open up my tablet. What do I need to do for the week? It's all listed here. I don't ever have to wonder what's gonna happen. And I know you probably thinking, well, what if something pop up? Listen, I tell my budget what to do. My budget's never going to tell me what to do. Now, in regards to me telling my budget what to do, the rumor has it, right, that most Americans don't even have $500 to $1,000 saved for an emergency. According to this picture, according to this story, I had a remaining sum of rollover funding in the amount of $400. Just shy of $100 of that suggested or recommended minimum of $500 that most Americans don't have saved. And all I'm then doing is focusing from there, generating new capital, right? In the amount of $600 to then do what? Secure the high recommended amount of $1,000 saved. You see how I was able to kill multiple birds with one stone? Because once you understand the market, you'll then be able to take all the information gathered from the market to paint these precise, clear pictures of how to further navigate throughout your own financial journey. Because again, if I got to try and stay focused on trying to figure out how to generate new capital throughout my small business, I have to do something that's going to allow for me to then make those changes in the future so that I can yield back whatever then income that I need to on those investments. So yeah, like I said, that's the picture for week 1. All I'm doing from there is using this information as a guide to further navigate over the duration of the first week of August. And with that being said, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know if you already secured the funding needed to cover the rent for the month of August. And let me know if you're still working on that funding. For more information in regards to this system, there's a link down in the description box below. And you can continue to follow me on this journey to gain a more clear understanding of how to effectively utilize this system to eliminate whatever strain that you've been possibly experiencing when budgeting. Because what I've learned is that it's very fun to budget, especially when you understand it. It literally then becomes a game where you learn how to generate, manage, and invest any capital generated from the market to further fund the life you then desire to live. But it starts one step at a time, using the right system, of course. Nonetheless, with that being said, peace. I'll see y'all in the next one.